Hello there, Russell Beste here, former candidate U.S. Senate, Vermont. I recently campaigned against Senator Bernie Sanders, didn't win, but I had an enjoyable time getting to know Bernie and make good friendships with him and learn a lot about him. There's many things I support about Bernie, certainly his stand on the environment, his protection for the environment, the way he fights for the little man, and also just his general fight for equality. That said, there's some things that just I don't support whatsoever from Bernie Sanders. For starters, socialism, no. America was founded on prosperity, on capitalism. That's what made our country so great. And because of us and because of our success, we've made the world a much safer place than it would be otherwise. Second, really, communism just doesn't work. Socialism doesn't work because it takes away incentive for people to succeed. So I'm very much opposed to that. Also, his talk about revolution. We don't need a revolution. Revolution, to many, the connotation is war. We don't need war in the United States. Absolutely not opposed to a revolution. That's not what we need as a country. I also don't really support Bernie's immigration policy. We have to be careful and have laws. We have a great country, and our nation was built on immigration and on immigrants, and we should always foster and promote that, but in a responsible manner. There's 8 billion people almost in the world today. We can't feed and take care of all of them. The world itself is actually better off if we control and help support other countries to achieve their own success and their own democracies. So no on that. So speaking of immigration, I do support some of Trump's policies in that regard, and I think that's one of the reasons people really admire that. Ultimately, we want to preserve America as we are, continue to get better, but we don't want to lose our culture. We have such an amazing culture. We want to keep it that way. So we have to fight for that, and that's a good thing. That said, I think Donald Trump and his policies are extremely wrong in terms of the way they're treating people. We cannot treat people like criminals. We have to have some sort of culture of taking care of these people and helping them get back to the countries they came from and helping them. And we should be helping in the greater context, just everyone in the world, help other countries get better so they can achieve the kind of happiness and peace and prosperity we have. Also, on reparations. I do not support reparations. I don't think that's the correct thing. None of us, really, most of us we're not born with a silver spoon. It's not like we were born with great things. We all had equal opportunities in college and high school, and we either make things of it or we didn't. We achieved different levels of success based on how hard we worked. And so that's how we should do and how we should support that. So that's how I feel on that. Equal opportunity, we need to help the disadvantaged, that said, and certainly certain ethnic communities have struggled, and we need to very much pour money and help into those economies to help them succeed in the American way. Donald Trump. I love his candid nature, his authenticity. He speaks what he thinks. I really do appreciate that. I am absolutely appalled by his racism, and for that matter alone, I doubt I could ever support him. I don't believe in him for that very matter. That is just simply wrong. Also, the way he lies is not appropriate and not correct. He's a liar. We don't need liars in the U.S. government. Last, just the way he talks and his friendships with Vladimir Putin and the Koreans and others, it makes me very nervous. I think he wants to become king sometimes. Certainly bringing his own family into the inner circle of our politics is not right either. We need people from other families and other walks of life with good diverse opinions in our politics, people who speak out honestly and who speak what they really mean and tell the truth and don't have any sort of allegiance to our leader. They should support him, but they shouldn't have some loyalty allegiance to him. That's just wrong. Donald Trump is not a king. Not at all. Global warming, very big problem. We need to work on this. There's lots of things we can do, and we should really work hard to continue to control global warming. We should also consider nuclear power, actually. I know that's a bad thing to say, some people may think, but the reality is nuclear power is extremely clean. And second, with all the new innovations in electronics, et cetera, it's a much safer technique now with automation to probably make it a much safer technique. So we should at least explore that. Fossil fuels will eventually move out. And if we don't lower our fossil fuel consumption, we're going to have bigger problems in terms of flooding, global warming, etc. Again, no revolution, please, for Donald Trump or anybody else or Bernie Sanders. No socialism. Last, we really need to think about building relationships with other countries. We need that. We're all dependent upon each other. And with the biotech revolution and all this other stuff and hypersonic missiles, our world's going to become increasingly less secure and more fraught with danger of possibly having warfare within different countries And with biologics, in fact, they could be snuck into a country and you'd never be able to control that. So ultimately, all of us as countries need to come together to work together to control those sorts of things. So we need to bring the country and the world together, not pull ourselves out into different city states and different countries that don't talk to each other and who hyper compete with one another. That just doesn't work. The economy. The internet economy has wiped out many jobs, but it's not malicious. Corporations aren't these big, bad, evil companies that are just out to destroy the world and take the money from all the little guy. The reality is corporations do a lot of great things and in fact have brought a lot of the great technologies to our world today. Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Ford, on and on, the list goes on of all these great companies that have done great things. What has happened is the internet economy has wiped out a lot of the little man because now fewer people can do more things. So fewer people are making more money at the expense of others. So we need to create more jobs by creating online training for free to let people become experts in certain areas of which they can be paid a lot more. And in that way, they can thrive too. So we need to do that. And speaking of that, in regards to general education, we also need to get things moving in education, and it could be free. I'm not saying free college. That just doesn't make sense because it's far too expensive for that. But we could have free online education, for example. And we could create jobs that are very niche oriented. For example, if you work in the medical profession, you could go into a niche and learn a certain expertise and help lower the cost of medicine that way by getting paid more working in medicine while at the same time lowering costs. So that would be a good opportunity as well. Anyway, thanks a lot. This is Russell Beste. Try to push things more forward. Again, we need to focus on issues, not sides, and we need to move forward in thinking about equality for all and equal opportunity for all. Thanks very much. Talk to you later. Beste out.